Questioning historical accuracy. History or his story? How much of what we know is fact, and how much has actually been forgotten and simply replaced with a new version of the story? How do we know the history we are taught is correct? We don't. Once you realize this and begin your own search to validate what you have been taught, it does not take long to realize you have been scammed. Yes, scammed. For you are taught a partially, if not fully, false history. How did this happen? I'll tell you exactly how this happened. We were sold this story when we were like 5 to 8 years old, and no one ever questioned it. What if, in fact, the entire story is a scam? How would we know? Time has changed, the calendar has been changed, names of important historical figures have been changed, and even the map used by all today is an inaccurate depiction of the true size of the continents and countries. Huh? Yes. Did you know there was never a Julius Caesar? That was not his name, nor was Jesus the real name of the person we refer to as Jesus. Huh? Well, how could it be? The letter J didn't come into usage until the 1300s. The math doesn't add up on much of history. Once you begin to collect enough reference points, you will see all the holes in the story. This is how it works. First ask, how is history altered? We are witnessing this before our eyes in modern society as schools adjust textbooks following the Black Lives Matter movement. History can be altered, and if they have done it once, they will do it again. And surely it has been done in the past. History can be altered. Once enough generations pass, there will be no one who is alive to remember anything different, and thus, the accurate description of events in the past dies out. This is always happening in small and large ways as time passes. Yes, I agree that many of the statues should have come down, and there was no need to glorify those who had caused this group injustice. Yet my point is that history is being removed, and once removed from everyone, it only takes a few generations until it is forgotten altogether. How many events have been removed from history altogether? What has been altered and redacted that we don't even know about? True history is all of the events of the past. History is supposed to be an accurate timeline of events past. Clearly, what we call history is not true history. It is simply a selection of what made the cut to stay in the books. Why are we being tricked? Remember, knowledge is power, and information is a valuable asset that gives one power. By rewriting the stories, events, people, and even places can become disempowered or empowered, given greater or less importance in the overall story of the world. For example, many know the Roman Empire was a big deal. How do you know that? Why do you know that? Because we all learned about it in school. Everyone did. It is emphasized in many history textbooks. The Roman Empire made the cut to stay in the storyline, for it is not a timeline. Thus, it is a storyline, his story. Because we all know this, it is likely we all believe the Roman Empire was powerful, correct? This is how history empowers and disempowers individuals, groups, places, and events. Events in history also bring us together or keep us divided. Most of history is an us versus them. Whoever us was and them was in that era, or battle or time. The stories of history either unite us or divide us, much like the mainstream mass media. There is an us and them, whether that be the people against a pharmaceutical company, or a state, such as California, against a storm, or the people against the people. It is always us versus them. These can be nature, a company, a person, a group, or an event, but the common denominator is the division that occurs in the way the stories are told. Do those tricking us know they are building an illusion? Some maybe, others no. How is the illusion and its objectives sustained? Before you begin to imagine that everyone is in on this, they aren't. That's the craziest part of all. They are delivering the initiative without even knowing it. Teachers, doctors, and other people who work in the environments we are about to pick apart don't know they were taught what we were taught. We have all been equally sold the same lie. None of these professions are bad or wrong. It's no one's fault, as it was unknown. So, what is the truth? How much of what we know is actually what happened? And how much don't you know at all? Is history accurate? No. Is modern history at least accurate? It's easy to imagine the past can be altered because there is no one here to fact-check it, and it probably doesn't come up often. It's probably difficult to imagine the history we are teaching today about today would be incorrect. But it is, and in a major way, to some of the most fundamental aspects of life as we know it. For example, our current world map and our calendar.